Good evening. Have one done today. God is good and God is good all the time. My name is Irma Jill Spirit Divine. I'm here to give you not a show news this time, but some good little news on today. First we're gonna start with they're still talking about banning abortion. Arizona Judge banned abortion. Um he declined to put her order that allow enforcement of a statement stating her law that making it a crime to provide an abortion on hold. So saying abortion rights groups that ask her to block the order are not likely to prevail on appeal. So the Rudin County Supreme Court Judge Kelly Johnson means the state um, abortion provide would not be able to restart procedures. Republican attorney General Moore, he sought the order lifting the injunction. So since the United States Supreme Court Judge 24 decision say women do not have constitutional rights to attain abortion. Women do have the rights. So there was no regard reason to block old law. Now see they had an old law back then, was legal for women to have an abortion, you know. And so the law in Arizona abortion uh, were legal. The old law was legal, 24 weeks of pregnancy, but now banning abortion at 15 weeks took effect. So yes, law takes procedure. So more and some Republican lawmaker insist the old law is enforced. So they're still trying to enforce the old law. So yes, I agree that the old law remain for abortion to be legal. So now we see Arizona referring patient. Now they referring patient, provider to California and New Mexico. Since Mr. Johnson, he lifted the injunction on the old law preparing to restart abortion. So Mr. Johnson, he lifting the injunction for the old law, to enforce it to restart abortion, you know. So now we see the only providers they have is California and New Mexico. And Mr. Johnson has lifted the injunction on the old law. So now they say if anyone insists in abortion, talking about the provider, if any provider assists on abortion, the law carry a sentence of 2 to 5 years in prison for doctors or anyone else who assists in any kind of abortion. So they're really taking this serious. They're banning all abortion. And I disagree because that's a woman church. A woman have all kind of complications and everything go on in their pregnancy. It's so many reasons why a woman needs that abortion at that time. So faculty would be willing to once again provide a procedure. Now patients are able to get abortion pill. Now they're able to get the abortion pill, the prescription from the provider. Now be sent in the mail by the pharmacy in India. But it takes 3 weeks. But Arizona law banned the delivery. Now they have the law. They have the abortion pill to have that legal to send in the mail. But then he banned the delivery of anybody getting any kind of abortion pill. So United States provide, they will not take that risk. So the providers, they getting scared, so they will not take that risk. If they banning all the delivering from the abortion pill, none of the providers don't want to have anything to do with it. So all this abortion is still going on. And I feel like that's a woman's church because all kind of stuff is going on. The reason why sometimes you may need to abortion. So you can't ban it all completely because just like that woman, the doctor told her baby gonna have brain damage or her baby gonna have a defect or whatever the case is. It's that woman's choice if she willing to take care of the foreign child or she want to get it dissolved. And but if you ban the abortion, she won't have that choice. She will have to keep it. So I stopped all ban abortion across the nation. Ban all. I stop all to ban abortion. Release it all. Request they be unbanned and released for any woman to have an abortion. Because it's a woman not most women it's not just having it just to be having it. Sometimes they have complications, or sometimes like the doctor told that your child gonna be this and be that. If a child come out the farm and brain damage and all that, the child will not have no life. So it's multiple reasons why a woman would need an abortion, and it have to sometimes you might go to the doctor for other kind of situation, and the baby they find out that the baby in the tomb, all this kind of different issues will have to come. The baby will have to come out. But if you ban to abortion and they have all these issues going on, they will have to keep a dead body inside of them. So I request they be unbanned and released for any woman to have abortion. So I request the injunction, be lifted, for the old law to still remain legal. So on three, abortion only. You say abortion is a crime. It's only a crime if a woman get pregnant, then all of a sudden she says she don't want to, have the baby, then you could consider it as a crime. But if a woman get raped, if a woman baby's in her tube, if a woman have to have surgery, if the baby's, the doctor said the baby come like this, that's not a crime. That's something that a baby have to come out. So there is different reason. So I request that all providers restart abortion and procedure. You know, and Republican Attorney General Moore, he ordered a lifting the adjustment. Him and Mr. Johnson, they lifted for the old abortion to still be legal because it was legal then. So it can be legal again, so it can be lifted. So I request that Arizona old law remain for abortion to be legal. So stop all ban. I stop all ban abortion. Stop all that. These people is still protesting out there. This been going on since last year. I stop all ban abortion. Release it all for any woman to have their church, to have their procedure done. Request that it be released for all the women to have this procedure done. It's a woman church. It's a woman church to have anything that needs to be done to their body. A woman should have their right, and women do have their right, and they have a church. So this is across the whole nation, not just for one state. Because I don't want to see those people still out there protesting. For this is a woman rights. I don't want to see them keep. They've been protesting since last year. So I stop all ban abortion, release it all. If any woman have a problem, and she need abortion, allow that woman to have that abortion. For any complication, follow. So a woman may have complication with her pregnancy. Two, a baby may goes into a woman too and needs to have surgery to come out. Three, if a doctor tell a woman her baby may be default or the baby brain gonna be damaged, the woman gonna have to have that procedure done to get the baby out. Because if the baby live, that baby won't have no life. If you got brain damage, it won't have no life. So a woman have a choice either to keep the baby, and take care of it, because the baby is not gonna grow. The baby will not have no life. And she either can dissolve the baby, or either keep the baby knowing it's gonna have all these defects. So a woman do have a choice. So for any of these problems a woman may have, it's a woman's choice to either get the baby dissolved or either keep the baby. So I request to unban all abortion, release it all for a woman to have her rights, so the woman can have her church to decide what she want to do. Because a woman, can get raped and she's not gonna want to carry that baby. She will need an abortion, or someone might put a foreign egg in someone, that's illegal and needs that baby to come out. So it's multiple reasons why this abortion needs to take place. You know, so so that's the story on abortion. I will come back to that again. So now we have another problem. We have a teenager had took her life, from watching something on a platform on Instagram. So the effect of the Instagram instance content contributed to a teenager, Miley Russell, suicide death. So Miley Russell, she was 14 years old, who took her own life. And this happened in 2017. So after viewing a large amount of online content, online content about self-harm and suicide, about self-harm and suicide on platform, including Instagram, and Pinterest. So Miley was affected in her mental health in a negative way and contributed to her death in more ways. So she already had mental health. She was depressed and she watching something on Instagram and took her life. So I'm sorry about this child, that took her life, but also she had depression, so she had depression that needed to be dealt with, and by her watching something on Instagram just put the icing on the cake. So it would not be safe to leave a suicide as a conclusion. She died from an act of self-harm while suffering from depression, effect on online content. So there should be protection for teens. So company must, expect to be held to account when they put the safety of children second, to commercial decision. So the magnitude of this moment for children everywhere cannot be understated. There should be a policy, to remove content posts that's not appropriate for teens and pull down. Elizabeth Long, head of health and well-being policy, told of the request on Monday that Miley had viewed some content that violate their policy, and she regret. So now this is an expert. This is expert. This is Elizabeth Long. Now they know that Miley watched some on their platform, and they know it broke the policy rules, violates the policy rules. They did say they would look into it. But I think that all this, and people have to realize your platform is for you to promote your business, and for you to promote yourself. If you getting an acting job or you getting some kind of job, to put your pictures and stuff out there. Your platform is not for the showcase guns and how to kill yourself and how to do all these things. Because a lot of people that's watching these platforms and seeing certain stuff is in a depressing mood. So we have to look out for some that might be in a depressed mood, looking for some stuff like that to do to themselves, which would happen. That would happen. So what she saw did violate their policy, and they is sorry. They say they is sorry. They don't want that on their platform at all. You know. So Miss Long replied respectfully, Instagram had consulted with experts who advised the company to not seek to remove types of content connected to self-harm and depression. But I disagree. I think a depressed person, a depressed teen, they should get help. They should have someone to talk to and should have it under control and talk to someone. But at the same time, I still disagree that you should remove anything that violates your policy, anything that's inappropriate on platform, because we have so many teens have these platforms. Some you got teens that's 12 years old have a Facebook and an Instagram. So now we have to look into these policies and realize, okay, we have children that's 12 years old, have a platform. So you have to take it in and give these children first priority, because so many children is have platforms and certain stuff. Platform really supposed to promote your business. Promote yourself for different things. The platform come to be all kind of stuff now. Going on there and how to kill yourself, or how to do somebody this and having gun, all that should not be on a platform. Because you have to look at, you got so many teens that's 12 years old on up, have platforms, and that's what we have to look at. So the committed to making ongoing improvement to help ensure that the platform is safe for everyone. So they're gonna start looking into their policy. They're gonna see how they can create and how they can try to make it safe for everyone to watch. Because right now they have a little bit of everything on these platforms. So they try over a few years to continue to strengthen their policy. Around self-home content. Now they will invest heavily in building new technology that automatically identify and take action on self-harm content. So they will look into, so earlier here they had the experts say that, telling her they don't think they should remove anything. But I disagree. I think they should move anything that's inappropriate, because things is not like it was back then. Back then they had a number of adult, had platforms. But these days things years have changed. You got teenagers that 12 years old have a platform, got a Facebook, got an Instagram. And I think the policy should change. You know, so they try over a few years to continue to strengthen their policy around self-harm content, but they will invest heavily in building a new technology that automatically identify and take action on self-harm content. So that's good. They will start looking into it and see how they can create and change their policy. Now they said Miley did look at something that did um cross their policy, disregards their policy, so they will look into that. In the meantime, the expert told her they're not pulling nothing down, so they stated they will continue, but they work with the world dealing, leading experts to help ensure that the changes we make offer, the best possible protection and support for teens. So they will be working in it, uh, investigating on the teens or how they can rate to have a decent policy. So one Miley, a teen, she watched something on Instagram and took her life, and she was already depressed. So I'm sorry to hear that you lost your child for over suicide. So three two. They also stated that she was suffering with this depression, and then watching something on Instagram really put the icing on the cake. So I requested all platforms, if anything is not appropriate, you know, should be removed. So he said he's not gonna remove anything, but I disagree. You know, even though depression should be taken care of, but at the same time, people, these teenagers watching, this is not the first thing. They always, I'm hearing the teenager killing himself from watching something on the platform. You know, because we have so many teenagers have platforms starting at 12 years old on up. Some teenager can watch, you know, some teenager can watch, and nothing would not affect them. But then you got some teenager, is depressed, and they cannot watch. So I request that all teenagers that depressed, have to get it dealt with. They have to get someone to talk to, because the platform wasn't the only reason she took her life. She was already depressed. The platform just put the icing on the cake. So because a regular teenager her same age can watch that platform and it won't harm them at all. But I still request that anything that's inappropriate on these platforms still needs to be pulled down. And at the same time, any child needs to have someone to talk to. So what we see, the platform wasn't the only reason. It only put the icing on the cake. So her depression, any child is in depression have to talk to someone. Have to talk to someone because I don't want to see this happen to another child. If you feel like your child is withdrawal and easily, crying, easily get hurt fast, please help your child to talk to someone, to get help, so she can be strong enough to watch anything on that platform. It will not take her life, So respectfully, to all depression, to have someone to talk to, so they can be strong enough, to be on a platform. And why is the child is getting help, at the time I request, I think, no platform until she get fully healed and be strong enough to watch anything and it won't affect her like the other teenager. So I request so this won't happen to another child. You know, request to move anything that may be appropriate for teens on all platforms. So I don't want this to happen to another child. I want all teens, you know, as a parent, you feel like your child is disturbed and withdrawn, easily get feelings get hurt, you know, please have her or he to get help, to have someone to talk to them. In the meantime, have no platform until that person is really, really is strong enough, to have a platform. So we talked about okay, so we talked about the abortion. You know, I don't want to see people out there still protesting, been protesting since last year. You know, this is their body, this is their choice. So I stop all ban abortion in the city state to have abortion ban. I stop it and I release it for these women to have abortion. For these women to have their rights. So these women can have a church. They have a church. They have their own decision to make. It's a lot of reason why a woman need abortion. Not just to be having it. It's a lot of complicated and reason why a woman needs this procedure done. So I ban, I unban all abortion. And I request that it all be released and not just for one state, not for one city, just across the whole nation. These women have rights. These women have a church, and they have so many complications, so many reasons why a woman needs it. Just like the woman, a few months ago, the doctor told her, she didn't even know she was pregnant. And the doctor told her they see a baby, but by the baby in the whole different department, the doctor said the baby's not gonna come out healthy, gonna be brain damaged, but she had to still carry that baby. She had to still deliver a dead baby and then turn around and bury the baby. So that's why I'm requesting for all these women to have the rights to for abortion, because that'd be so hurtful. If the baby is dead and then you got to turn around and bury your child, because the doctor already told you, the baby it will not live. and her baby did not live, just like the doctor said, but she had to carry that baby for a whole 9 months because they banned all the abortion, and I request that all abortion be unbanned, be released for all these women to have abortion because that was totally disgrace for a woman to carry a whole baby for 9 months, a dead baby for 9 months, knowing when it come out it was gonna already be brain damage, but she could not get an abortion. The doctor refused. Any doctor had refused to give her abortion. She had to still carry that baby. So it's reason and complication and reason why this abortion needs to take place. And you say a woman don't have rights. I disagree. A woman do have rights, and a woman do have a choice. So and stop all banning abortion. I want no abortion to be banned. I need it to be released. I request that it be unbanned and released for women to have a choice, have their rights. So I request that injunction be lifted, for the old law to be legal again. So I request, that all providers, restart the abortion procedures again. You know, um, requested Arizona old law remain, for abortion to be legal. I stop all ban abortion. Request that it be released for all women to have this procedure done and have a choice to make. All women have the right to make their own choice what they want to do with their body. So this is across the whole nation, not one state, not two states, for the whole nation. If any woman have a problem, have any kind of complication, any needs of an abortion, allow that woman to have an abortion, for any complication reason. The woman may have complication with the pregnancy, you know. The doctor might say the baby is dead already inside you, but you cannot have abortion. You got to go a whole 9 months with it. So that's why the abortion needs to take place, and for complication like this here. A woman gonna need that to be done. So you want a woman to walk around a whole 9 months with a dead baby, and she cannot perceive that baby out. So baby may go into a woman too. If a woman already having a problem with her tube, her fifth liver tube, and she wind up getting pregnant because sometimes your tubes is tied. You're not supposed to get pregnant, but some women still get pregnant and they don't be knowing they're pregnant, but the baby will go into their tube. So if the doctor, I explained that already with the brain damage with this other lady, and she had to still carry her baby 9 months because all doctors refused to give her abortion. So any of these problems that I named, and it might be other issues, a woman needs to have that choice to either dissolve that baby or either keep that baby. The woman have that choice to make. The woman have the rights. So I request I stop all ban abortion, release it all for all these women to have their rights and have their choice. So we also talk about this young teenager, already was depressed, and she took her life because of something she saw on Instagram. And I disagree with some of what they said. They said they should not remove it, but I disagree. They should remove anything on these platforms that's inappropriate, for these teenagers, because teenagers 12 years old, have platforms, that should, and watching all this stuff they have on it. Your platform is for you to motivate, motivate promote your business, promote yourself or any job that you're trying to get. Send your pictures out there. That's what your platform is supposed to be for. Get your word out. That's what your platform is supposed to be about. But these days you're seeing platform with guns and how you do this and how you do that. And you have to remember, it's time to change. Back then when we had first got our platform, you had all adults had platform. Now you have to realize to take consideration that you have kids that 12 years old have a Facebook and an Instagram. You know, so certain stuff, you know, y'all, I request that y'all update your policy and make your policy where it's comfortable for teenagers, because you have teenagers that have platforms. You know, change your policy where, yeah, if anybody pulls stuff that on there that is inappropriate, it needs to be pulled down. You know, and platform needs to be pulled away. You know, because you have to change your policy. For you have so many suicides. This is not the first one. You know, we have so many suicides because of these platforms. These platforms is used for all different reasons, and it's supposed to promote yourself, promote your business. You know, but it's for all different reasons now. You know, so I suggest is that any child that's depressed, if you know your child is depressed, you know, try to get your child some help, someone to talk to make her stronger, make he or her stronger, you know, to have a platform, you know, being respectfully, you know, I'm just saying, you know, for I don't want this to happen to another child. You know, the platform, the policy have to change, you know, they have to start pulling stuff down that's inappropriate for these teenagers. And you know, the platform wasn't the only reason she took her life. She was depressed. You know, she was depressed. You know, so we're gonna take consideration and try to help other kids. You know, because we don't want this to happen to no one else's child. You know, have your child checked out. Have your child to talk to someone professional to make that child strong enough to be able to watch anything that may be on a platform. You know, so that's all the news I have for you today. Y'all have a blessed day, and I'll see y'all in the next video.